took off Sunday because we were driving home from the Bengals loss to the Lions. But it's the Height Differential powered by Gridley. That's Neil. I'm Nick. Neil, before we get into update on sports, so the show is called Height Differential.
That it is, yeah.
Had a little predicament today. It happens every once in a while. It doesn't happen very often, but it does happen. It comes out of nowhere. And it is honestly probably one of the worst things that I can hear. Sitting there eating dinner, and all of a sudden my smoke detector just starts beeping once every minute.
It's one of the worst sounds you could ever have.
So, like, when that happens to you, it's annoying, but is it that big a deal?
No. For me, I just reach up, press the little reset button, pop the battery out, pop the new battery in, and we're good to go. About 10 seconds.
So, it doesn't work like that for me. So, in the past, like, I've tried to take a broomstick, just knock it down. I've tried to climb climbing the ladder is worse because you get a little closer, but you still can't reach it. Like, when things are just out of reach, that's way worse than it being so far out of reach that you're not even going to try. But doing stretch therapy, I've got like this stretching stick that I'm able to use. So I take that thing and it's got a little grip on the end of it. And I'm able to actually kind of turn it a little bit to get the thing to fall. So I don't have to get up there.
Smart.
But I didn't realize that I was going to, I'm trying to figure this out as I go. Like, I'd never done that before. And you're like, am I going to listen to this thing all night because I can't get this thing down?
Nah, at that point, you just go sleep outside.
I mean, I could go downstairs. But yeah, we got it down. It happens maybe, once every 2-3 years where your batteries go dead in your smoke detector?
You don't ever, well, you're supposed to have the ones that are like hardwired so they last like 10 years. But, why don't you just go like knock on the door, next door neighbors, bring the doorbell, knock on the door, have them come over and do it for you.
I mean, I guess if you got to that level of frustration, that might be something you would do.
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, ma'am. I need you to come over and take down my smoke detector.
Can I use your height, please? But no, we got it down.
That's good.
But yeah.
Now how you gonna get it back up?
We'll wait for somebody to come over to the house to do that. Now it's just sitting on.
Sure. Hope your oven's turned off tonight and there's no kind of electrical fire at your house.
Well, it'll still work. I put batteries in it.
Cooked.
It'll still work.
Okay.
It's sitting on the dresser.
Okay.
I mean, I can't use the same stick that I took to take it down to put it back up.
No, can't do that.
But it's sitting on the dresser. It's functioning.
Okay.
It's quit beeping. It's got fresh batteries.
That's good.
So if there is some sort of fire in the house, it will still beep. So we're good to go.
Good.
But yeah, I got to wait for somebody a little taller to come by and put that thing back up. Because
if we
we
didn't live on 30 minutes apart from each other, I'd be there for you. But hey, I ain't making that trek.
I appreciate that. Speaking of not trying it, Cincinnati Bengals aren't going to try to throw Jake Browning out there again.
Thank goodness.
So made the move yesterday. Zach Taylor, after their loss on Sunday, was still sticking with Jake Browning in the post game, but then Monday comes around and you could see that there's maybe a little thought process that they might go in a different direction. And then yesterday, we find out Joe Flacco is heading south from Cleveland to Cincinnati.
Yeah, would never have expected Joe Flacco to be the name that popped up this week. I mean, you've heard names like maybe like the Kirk Cousins of the world, or the Jameis Winstons, or the Russell Wilsons. But old man Flacco, I mean, it was a quick little drive down the middle of Ohio to get to Cincinnati. But I'm just glad the Bengals are doing something. I mean, is Flacco the answer? Probably not. Especially behind the offensive line that the Bengals have. I don't know if his 40-year-old butt's going to be running around and avoiding sacks, but it's something. It's at least the organization admitting that what is happening is not working and it's not acceptable. After the game Sunday, you hear Zach Taylor talking, and he gave the typical coach speak answers. I have faith in Jake Browning, and it all starts with me. And it's put it on me. But we all knew that it was a disaster on Sunday. The 3 interceptions that he threw were just absolutely terrible. I mean, people want to point to his fourth quarter, but that was just garbage time touchdowns after you're down 28-3. So those mean nothing. So glad that the Bengals are actually doing something. Joe Flacco hopefully will bring a little bit of a spark to this offense, and we'll see what we can do.
Yeah, we'll see. They had to do something. And you talk about the 21 points the Bengals scored in the fourth quarter. I mean, garbage time. They got him within 11. And then, I mean, you take a safety in the end zone, but I mean, he threw 8 picks in his, what,
Really?
I guess, three and a
Yeah,
half
champs.
games. Uh, I mean, QB rating is 70.5, was completing 64% of his passes. I talked about this in our last show. Like, he just didn't look like the same Jake Browning that we saw, 2 years ago when he was carrying them to a 4-3 record after Joe Burrow went down. And now you bring in a guy like Joe Flacco, and you mentioned those other names, like Kirk Cousins was never going to
Yeah,
happen with the contract
totally.
that's tied to him. The Bengals were never going to pay that and carry on dead money next year. That's the thing with Joe Flacco. He's not under contract for next year, so they don't have to worry about that. I don't think they ever reached out to the Giants in regards to Russell Wilson or Jameis Winston. I mean, he's not the oldest quarterback in the AFC North. I mean, that still belongs to Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah,
So I mean, heck, in 2 weeks, you're going to see Aaron Rodgers and Joe Flacco play on Thursday night in what may be the oldest combined quarterback age in NFL history. I mean, I guess Tom Brady potentially, if he played somebody who was a lot older when he was 45, could be up there. But
yeah.
I mean, they're bringing in a guy in Joe Flacco whose numbers aren't much better than, or they actually worse in some categories than Browning's have been. But, you know, Jake Browning has had 1 drop with his receiving core.
Yes.
And do you know how many Joe Flacco's
I
had
don't know, but I remember
in his start?
watching that week 1, those 2 interceptions the Bengals had were because of drops, so I know it's a lot.
So he had 11 drops. So he goes from having statistically, which is the worst receiving core in the NFL, to, I mean, the Bengals aren't the best receiving core in the NFL statistically, but I think talent wise, you could be argued that they are. So he's stepping into a better situation talent wise and weapon wise, but you talked about it. I mean, the offensive line has got to keep him upright because he's going to be standing still. He's not going to be able to break out of tackles.
No, and
They got to keep him healthy.
and I'll give the offensive line some credit. I thought they actually played their best game of the season this past Sunday. There were times that Jake Browning had a lot of time to throw the ball, and he just was inaccurate. I mean, in the previous games, you could point to the offensive line and say that's why Browning played poorly. But I think on Sunday, it was all on Browning. I thought the offensive line did a pretty good job.
Yeah, I mean, you just can't make the mistakes he's making. And you look at a lot of the interceptions he's thrown, and I mean, they're bad decisions and they're bad throws. And you can't put its offense like Detroit in such good field position where, and Detroit's going to score. I thought Cincinnati's defense played pretty well after that opening drive. They
Absolutely.
kind of kept them in the
They
game.
absolutely
I
did.
mean, was the reason they were able to get it to 11, in the fourth quarter. I don't know. You had to make a move. And if you're looking for a guy who's going to be able to come in, learn the offense, and play in his first week of the team, Joe Flacco's probably one of the rare guys that can do that.
No, absolutely. And financially, it made sense. And, like you said, he's not under contract next year. And all you really did was just have a pick swap with the Browns. I mean, you traded your 5th-round pick for a 6th-round pick, and you got Joe Flacco in return as well. So, I mean, they didn't give up a lot for him. And like you said, not under contract next year. I mean, it makes a lot of sense.
No, and I mean, the AFC North is there to be had. The Steelers are leading the division at 3-1, but they haven't looked like world beaters. And I mean, their quarterback's 41 years old and is an injury away from being out of there. And I mean, they got Mason Rudolph is their backup again, I think.
Yeah.
So I mean, the Steelers aren't going to run away with this thing, and the Ravens are struggling, are 1-4, and Lamar's out right now. So I mean, you've paid T, you've paid Jamar, you've paid Trey. I felt like the Bengals front office was like, we can't really just sacrifice this season. We need to make a change at QB, and their schedule lightens up too. They got the Packers this week, and then they get the Steelers, but then they get the Jets and the Bears in back-to-back weeks, and their schedule really does lighten up in the second.
Yeah, and you got, I mean, like you said, after this Packers game, you got the Steelers, Jets, and Bears, and all 3 of those are at home. So you have 3 straight home games and then a bye week. So, somehow just get through this week. I mean, hopefully you get a win, but even with the loss, you have a chance to rebound with those next 3 games at home going into that bye week, hopefully with a 500 record or better.
After watching week 1 where the Bengals luckily really beat Joe Flacco, did you expect 5 weeks later we'd be watching him in stripes?
No. You could have given me a million names, and his name would not have been the one that I would be thinking about. But to his credit,
But I mean, I think
The Packers have lost one game this season, and who was the quarterback in that game?
It was Joe Flacco. His numbers weren't great
Okay.
in that
No,
game.
they weren't, but he did win the game.
Right.
The Browns won, so he knows the Packers defense. He's already played them once, so let's see what he does.
Well, and that's the advantage too. He just saw this team
Mhm.
a few weeks ago.
Yep.
And I mean, when you're preparing for a team on on a short break where you just got signed and you got to figure everything out in a few days, like that's one advantage is the fact that
You've already watched
you
film
just
on him.
played this
Yeah.
team.
Yep.
But we talked about the Ravens. They fall, get absolutely crushed by the Texans,
44-10.
44-10. The Chiefs lose to the Jags on Monday night. The Bills lose to the Patriots on Sunday night, and we can get more into those games. But it is the first time since 2017 that the Chiefs, the Bills, and the Ravens have all lost in the same weekend.
Yeah, I mean, the NFL is absolutely crazy right now. Like we talked about last week, who's going to be the last undefeated team between the Eagles and the Bills, and they both lose. Like both lose games that they should not have lost, both at home. The Broncos are a little bit better, I think, of an opponent than the Patriots, but the Patriots are kind of a nice little surprise of the NFL so far. But like it just goes back to the argument of it's just wide open. Like there's not a dominant team right now. I mean, and you talk about like this past Sunday, all the crazy things that happened with those three teams losing. Like you have, what is this, 3, 4, 5 double-digit comebacks for wins. The Titans were down 18 to Arizona. The Panthers were down 17 to Miami. The Broncos were down 14 to Philly. The Saints were down 11. They got their first win against the Giants, and the Commanders were down 10 to the Chargers that came back and won. So there's not that dominant good team right now. So it's just a wide open, crazy league.
Yeah, and we talked about this last week. Like the last two undefeated teams were the Eagles and the Bills. I mean, I think they were clearly above everybody. I mean, they both lose on Sunday. The Chiefs, who are now 2-3, they play a Jacksonville team whose only loss is to the Bengals.
Mm-hmm.
The Chiefs have 13 penalties in that game, including Butker's kick out of bounds when they go 28-24. That gives the Jaguars short field position. Trevor Lawrence makes two really good throws, and then he has that delay a game penalty, which is just you cannot do that in that situation. And they get the PI in the end zone, which, I mean, it's like in a situation like that where you're third and long, it's probably your best case scenario is getting a PI.
Yep.
They get that. They get in the end zone, and then the crazy play with Trevor Lawrence where he trips on the guard's foot.
Falls over. Yeah.
Falls over, somehow gets up and gets into the end zone.
Yeah. Insane. I mean, maybe the Jaguars are the favorites to win the AFC now. Who would have thought that? But they're definitely in the conversation.
Well, that 99-yard interception return for a TD when the Chiefs were getting ready to go in and score, which I think would have put them up by 2 scores.
Yeah.
Another turnover forced by the Jaguars. That's now 14, and they lead the league in that category. They had a couple against the Bengals.
Yeah.
With Jake Browning, and now we see what happened to him after that.
Oh yeah. So it's I don't know. Like it's an unpredictable league. That's for sure. I don't know if you were to say give me your Super Bowl favorites or Super Bowl winner. I couldn't tell you. It's a surprise every week.
And you talked about the Broncos come back from against the Eagles. They even had 17-3 in the fourth, and they go for 2. They score to cut it 17-16 with like 8 minutes to go, and they go for 2, and like nobody does that.
Nope.
Take the lead and end up getting a field goal late to win by 4. But I mean, Bo Nix goes on 3 scoring drives in the fourth quarter to beat the defending Super Bowl champions. 2 Broncos losses have been that one crazy loss to the Colts, where they were called for the leverage penalty on a field goal, and then they gave up a lead late against the Chargers. So, I mean, they're looking pretty good too.
Yeah. Yep.
And then you talked about Buffalo and New England. I mean, Drake May's numbers weren't amazing, but when he needed to make plays, he's looking like a guy.
Yeah. I mean, Mike Vrabel's got them playing good football. He's turned them around, completely. So they are definitely playing good football, and they're in the playoff hunt, playoff conversation.
And I guess we have to get in to whatever it was that happened in that Titans-Cardinals game. So
clown show
for people that are playing Survivor, I picked the Cardinals. I'm watching the game while we're in Bengal Stadium, thinking that one's in the bag, right?
Yeah.
Then you look up and it was 21-6 in the fourth. And Amari Dermercado gets that 72-yard pass play for what should have been a touchdown
Yeah.
and lets it go before it even gets in the end zone. So now 2 weeks in a row, because Adonai Mitchell did it for the Colts last week. 2 weeks in a row, a player has fumbled the ball right before he's getting ready to score, which I still don't understand how this continues to happen.
That makes no sense. I mean, you see this happen to other guys around the league. You have to think to yourself, that's not going to be me. And then somehow it ends up being you. Like I don't get it.
Like, is there anything more inexcusable in sports?
No.
Like, it'd be like, I don't know, like in basketball, like getting to layup and then just like letting the ball go before you lay it in.
That or
Who would ever do that?
You're rounding third. You're heading home in a baseball game, and instead you decide to jump over home plate. Like,
yeah, just head to the dugout.
Like, what are we doing?
Just head to the dugout. You're 2 feet away. You know, I'm going to slide right. Like it makes zero sense. And this is something that happens once or twice a year, every single year in college and pro.
Yep. Got it.
So instead of going up 28-6, they remain up 21-6. And then the Tennessee gets like a 50-yard touchdown pass. And then they end up, Cam Ward throws a pick. They fumble it on the ground. The Titans pick it up in the end zone.
Well, he fumbles it. Then some other dude kicks it from the goal, kicks it into the end zone. And then the Titans decide to fall on it.
And they're still down 21-19. Like, it's still, the Cardinals still lead. And then they end up punting, and Sly, who had missed an extra point earlier in the game, makes a 29-yarder to win it. You know how, like, ESPN does those probability statistics, like, to win the game?
This would have been like a 99.9.
Like, when he's running 70 yards for a touchdown up 21-6, I'd say it's pretty close to 99%. And then they figure out a way to lose.
Yeah. And the Cardinals coach got into it there a little bit with his wide receiver.
Oh yeah, we got to talk about that.
After that, I mean, I don't blame the coach for being mad. As you said, like, you know, it's one of the most inexcusable things in sports that you could possibly do. But he may have crossed the line a little bit, shoved the player, maybe went a little bit too far. Fined, what was he fined? $100,000 by the organization.
100,000.
Yeah. So I think he learned his lesson.
As frustrated as you are, you can't put your hands on people.
No, you can't.
But I mean, we talked about how just inexcusable it is to do that. So, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how you really handle that as a coach. The player knows better not to fumble at the 1 yard line. He's not just now learning this. So I don't know. But I 100% understand his frustration. The $100,000 fine was probably warranted, but hey, the Titans get they snapped a 10-game losing streak with this win. And I'm sure that regardless of how it happened, flying back to Tennessee, they were feeling pretty good.
Yeah.
Another good one was the Uniform Bowl with the Bucks and the Seahawks.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we can talk about this later, but some of these throwback uniforms, I don't know why they're not.
No, the
main
creamsicle orange Bucks uniform with the Buccaneer logo with the dagger in his mouth. Fantastic. Old school football. Brings you back to the good old days. Love the color scheme. And then I love the blue-green combo the Seahawks had. You know, reminds you of like the old Bo Jackson days when he's up there running around. So I absolutely love the color scheme. Love the throwbacks. I wish everybody would wear throwbacks for a couple times a year, except the Bengals. I don't know. What Bengals throwback would you prefer them to wear?
Well, I mean, their throwback would really have to be the old school with the font, the Bengals text on the helmet. Right? I mean, their other uniforms are pretty similar to what they wear now. They're a little different.
Yeah.
But like, you go from the Bucks with the creamsicles to what they're wearing now, they're not even close to the same. I mean, the Seahawks are not even really close to that colors are closer than the Bucks, but still not really close. But yeah, I just look at all these teams, like I miss the Oilers uniforms. And I know like the Titans have the rights to them because they moved from Houston to Tennessee. But the Texans should just buy those and, like, change their name and wear those uniforms all the
Yeah, the
time
Oilers were awesome.
because those are great
The
uniforms.
Patriot,
The Dolphins should never not wear their old school uniforms.
like the Patriot hiking the football.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good one. The
I mean, there's just
Bronco with the horse breathing through the D, also a great logo.
and they went closer to that than what they were wearing during the Super Bowl years with Elway and Terrell Davis, where they like, they're kinda closer to what those uniforms looked like back in the day, but they didn't go all the way back. But yeah, I don't know. There's just you see those old school uniforms and you're like, "Why don't they just wear these all
I
the time?"
agree.
But the Bucks do what the Bucks do, and dude, here's the thing, like, Baker and Sam Darnold, 2 guys that were drafted high and let go of their teams, were at the Panthers together. In this game, they combined for 720 yards. They only had 10 incompletions, and it was a Darnold interception late that set up the Bucks field goal to win it. But it seems like the Bucks do this every single week.
Mhm.
They've now won 4 they're 4-1, and their 4 wins are all by less than 3 points. They're the first team in NFL history to win 4 of their first 5 games by less than 3 points,
Wow.
by 3 points or
I
less.
mean, that's just credit to Baker Mayfield, man. Like the dude is just, he's a competitor and he's proven that he's a winner. I mean, he's bounced back from his failed stints in Carolina and where else? Cleveland, and he was out in LA for a little bit brief time, but people would cast him off, and here he is, taking the Bucks to 4-1. He had a great season last year. He's one of the one of the better quarterbacks in the league. And then Sam Darnold,
Oh, I think he's
everybody cast Sam Darnold off after he was a Jet. He had that resurgence last year, and he's having success again this year with a new team in Seattle. So credit to both of those guys, but especially Baker Mayfield, showing once again he's a competitor and he's a winner.
dude, he does it every week. Whatever they need to do to late in the game to win, he does it. And I mean, I think he's top 5 in the MVP votes right now, maybe top 3.
I would say so.
But I mean, you see fans in the tunnel like just getting in his ear before the game, just getting in him, and he just gives it right back.
That's fuel to the fire. Like if you're an opposing fan, don't do that because he feeds off that. He feeds off that. Like he wants to go out there and kill you, and he's doing it.
You're like, there's some guys that maybe that would get under their skin,
He
but
ain't one of them.
it ain't gonna be him.
No.
And you're right, that's just gonna fire him up. And I mean, he's just a competitor, dude. And I think we've talked about his journey a couple of times, and I just think it's pretty incredible what he. I mean, his career was almost
I
done.
mean, he was on the bench
I
in
mean, he
Carolina.
was moving from place to place, and
Yeah.
finally got a chance, showed something in LA, and got a chance in Tampa Bay. And they weren't thinking that he was going to be their starter for the next,
No.
5-6 years when they signed him. But the way he's played, he got his extension, and they hadn't been able to take him off the field. So the Bucks continue to do what they've done every week. And I mean, you look at some of the rest of the games, and geez, there were some bad games in that 1:00 window. We're sitting there in the Bengals tailgate. We've got a TV, we've got it all set up. We're looking at all these games, and none of these teams are very good.
No, the Ravens, we had the Ravens game on, and I know they're all banged up, but that defense is just absolutely brutal right now. Like they are not very good at all, giving up 44 points to a Texans offense that has struggled for their first couple games of the season. And then, you got Cooper Rush filling in for Lamar Jackson, and that offense is only putting up 10 points. So, it's not going well right now in Baltimore. They, I think, have a little bit of a chance to turn it around if they can get healthy, but they need to get healthy quick because the window is closing. So, ugly game in Baltimore.
And I mean, the Saints, like you said, they played the Giants. I mean, the Cowboys beat the Jets, and the Jets are probably the worst team in football. But the story of the Cowboys Jets game may have been, which it always, I guess it is. He's always in the spotlight. Is Jerry Jones once again?
Old man Jones thought he was giving a thumbs up, but I guess he put up the wrong finger. I don't know.
I mean, he's around a bunch of Cowboys fans, so I don't know why he would be flipping them off. He's at MetLife Stadium, so maybe he's not telling the truth. But yeah, throws up the finger, gets fined. I think it was $250,000 because it was caught on TV. I mean, if it's not caught on TV, you're not going to get fined. But I mean, what was it that he said? He said, "I just put up the wrong show of the hand." So meant to do thumbs up, but accidentally sent the wrong finger out there and resulted in a $250,000 fine.
Jerry is old. We all know Jerry's old, and he's been around for a while, and he's getting up there in age. And are you buying this? Are you buying the fact that he is he telling the truth? Was he trying to give a thumbs up and he just put up the wrong digit? I'm not buying it. I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, I don't understand how to buy it. I don't know how I could accidentally throw up the wrong finger.
Doesn't make
Now,
sense.
I'm not 80 years old.
Right.
I don't know how things maybe change when you get 80 years old. But at this point in my life, I don't know how I could ever be like, try to go like this
Yeah.
and end up flipping somebody.
Yeah, I'm not buying it either. So I think
I mean, could you see? I could see like a 2 or a 3-year-old doing it.
Oh yeah, sure. But you say he's old.
You're talking about two ends of the spectrum here.
He's old, man. I don't know, but I'm not buying it. I think the fans said a little something he didn't like. Cowboys were winning, so he was in a good mood. You know, he's probably just giving it back to him. So I don't know.
Yeah, no way that was on accident, unless he's just completely lost control of his fingers and tries to throw one up and the other one goes, and you just never know. It's a crapshoot. It's a crapshoot. At that point, I think I would just be clenched fists all the time and not throwing up any fingers. But if anybody can afford a $250,000 fine, I think Jerry Jones probably ranks near the top of the list.
Yeah, he probably wrote him a check before he even left MetLife. He's probably got that in the bank account.
So I guess to kind of close out last week's NFL schedule, we didn't talk about the completion from Josh Allen to the fan in Buffalo.
That was a great game.
And Mike Tirico's call was just spot on and just shows you why he's so good at what he does.
Oh, yeah. Well, funny, hilarious moment. Mike Tirico nailed it, as he always does. Fan catches the ball in the first row there, the end zone, and tucks it up under the shirt and runs for the exits.
So evidently, like, these were his buddies' seats, and they use them a couple times a year. And I guess his buddy had got a couple balls thrown his way, and he'd always given them back. And he's like, he told his wife, like, if I ever get one, I'm going.
He went.
Like, I'm taking off.
He went.
I'm taking off.
Yeah.
So it happens. I mean, what are the chances that it's going to happen again? I guess you're right there in the corner, but still, it's pretty slim, I would say. But it goes right to him, tucks that thing up, just takes straight off, goes straight to his car. His wife stays there. And I guess the Bills contacted him afterwards because they like, we know who you are, dude. Like, your season, like, we can get in touch with the tickets that you're using. And they got in contact with him, and they made him give the ball back.
Terrible. Like that. Like what?
They gave him a different ball.
Why?
But like, you can go buy that ball.
Why?
You can go buy that ball at Dick's Sporting Goods.
What are we like? Why? Like, what is the attachment to that one ball that the Bills needed to go? Hey, sir, we're gonna need you to drive back to the stadium tomorrow, Monday morning. Drop that thing off to us. Like, what? Like what? Why? And then you give them a different ball. Like, what's the difference? Who cares? You have a million of these game balls. You have a ton of these game balls. Why that ball? Is it Josh Allen's favorite ball? Does he tuck it? Does he sleep with it? Put it under his pillow at night? Like, what's he doing? Like, why? Why do we need to get this back? It's like a foul ball in baseball. We're not giving foul ball. We're not turning foul balls into the concession stand for snow cones like we do in Little League here. Like, no, you keep anything that's into the stands. That's fair game. The fans get it. They get it.
Well, I mean, clearly that's not true in the NFL. But if you go to these links to keep a ball, like, you sacrifice watching the rest of the game, and the rest of the game was pretty dang good.
It was a great game.
Like, he sacrificed watching that in the stadium. I mean, he got this home. Like, you're gonna make him come back. Like, you're right. Like, what is the big significance for this football? It's not like, it doesn't have any like touchdown number to it. Like, it didn't win you the game. It was just a random football during the game that you threw at a fan, and for some reason you made him give it back. Now, maybe, are you not trying to set a precedent where all fans are just taking off as soon as they get a football? Maybe that's it. But, dude, it's still kind of messed up. Come on, Bills. Like, this is a cool story. Like, Mike Tirico did that whole call. Like, just show a picture with him holding his frame football.
Yeah.
Next week that he ran out of the stadium with, and let's leave it at that. And because this other ball, it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, it's a cool story for the fan. Like, you caught a pass from what could be a future Hall of Fame quarterback in Josh Allen. You know, maybe he's already won an MVP. Could be a Super Bowl winner down the road here. You know, one of the all-time great quarterbacks possibly in this league's history. That's a cool story for you. And instead, nope, I got this non-game use football that they just, like you said, went to Dick's Sporting Goods and pumped up and just gave it to me.
Yeah,
Like, what?
yeah, I can do that myself.
What?
I can do that myself. And look, like Josh Allen makes it cooler, but any quarterback
Well,
that you get a
I
ball
mean,
in the NFL would be cool.
I mean,
Like you get it from Cam Ward.
at least
Like that'd be
the
cool.
ball that they gave him, was it signed by anybody? Did Josh Allen have a signature on that thing?
It didn't mention that in the story, but that would at least make
That
it a
would make
little
it a
better.
little bit better if you got at least an autograph out of this thing. But if it's just a football, that's terrible. Like the Bills have to be better.
Huh?
You got to do better.
Yeah. I mean, according to the story, it was just a random old football that you could have got at Dick's.
That's sad.
So,
Sad.
I mean, probably why you lost the game, Bills,
Yeah. Army.
because they knew you were going to do that
Yep.
eventually.
Yep.
So, shame on you. But, I mean, you look at the NFL schedule this week and a lot of really not great matchups again, but we do get the Lions and Chiefs on Sunday Night Football, which Chiefs 2-3, now looking at maybe going 2-4 because the Lions look pretty good.
Yeah, the Lions have rebounded after that Week 1 disaster against the Packers. They once again look like they're one of the top teams in the NFC. Look like they were getting better after their 0-2 start. They were playing good football. Maybe gave one away on Monday night, but that should be a good matchup. Where'd you say that was, in Kansas City?
Yeah, in Kansas City.
Yeah, that's going to be some much appointment TV on that one. You got to tune into Mike Tirico again on Sunday night for another good matchup.
At Griddly, we believe grit isn't just a word, it's a way of life. It's perseverance, resilience, courage, passion, and strength. That's why our wallets and winning bands are built to last, just like you. Right now, honor your grit and save 25% with promo code HD at checkout. Back for life. That's the Griddly guarantee. Griddly. Embrace your grit.
We'll go through the slate of college football really quick, but the big one last week that we talked about was Bama at Vandy. Vandy went up 7-0, and then we're up 14-7 before being outscored 23-0 the rest of the way. Pavia had an interception and a lost fumble, was kind of running his mouth before the game. Didn't play poorly, but made some mistakes and was clearly outplayed by Ty Simpson, who had 340 yards and 2 tutties, as Alabama continues to look like we don't have to talk about them if we're talking about the playoffs.
Yep, the tide is rolling. The tide is definitely rolling. Another big win over Vandy, as you said. Pavia, the Doors came in confident, but as we mentioned, like, it was a revenge game for Alabama. Like we said, Vandy kept them out of the playoff last year. They were not going to let that happen again, and they took care of business.
And I guess 2 of the surprises were Florida beating Texas. Archie Manning was outplayed by Lagway, who had his best game of the year through 298 yards and 2 tutties, and found a true freshman who's playing his first game, Dallas Wilson, who had like 6 catches for over 100 yards and caught both of those touchdown passes. And the other surprise was Penn State losing at a terrible UCLA team who hadn't won a game, and they allowed Nico, who hasn't done anything all year, he had 2 passing touchdowns and 3 rushing touchdowns. UCLA had combined for 57 points in the 4 games in their 4 losses, but they beat Penn State 42-37.
And to be honest, like that,
just inexcusable loss by Penn State.
And that margin of victory wasn't even indicative of how that game went. I mean, UCLA was up big in that game, I think up 17 maybe. So like they from start to finish, they just put it on the Nittany Lions. Like, I don't know, I don't know why it would be a trap game. I mean, they came off that letdown against Oregon, the week prior. I mean, I guess they just, in their minds, were going to a little beach vacation out in L.A., partying a little too much downtown L.A., and they didn't take care of business. I guess they just overlooked them. I mean, it can happen. I mean, there's been some teams that have some inexcusable losses along the way, but when you're Penn State and you're at goal in the beginning of the season, you're one of the national title favorites. Now you're on the outside of the playoff looking in. Like, you can't be doing that.
Well, you had that tough game against Oregon last week where obviously you came up short and you're disappointed, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is the thing with the Big Ten now, is you got to go out west and play conference games. And it's tough to go out west. Like, regardless of who you're playing, And they clearly overlooked a UCLA team that everybody thought was terrible and still honestly might be terrible. But it's just, I mean, with this weird Big Ten where you've got teams in California, I mean, I think these things are going to happen every once in a while. And, one of the things about James Franklin, we've talked about his record over and over about, top 10, his top 10 record being as bad as it is. But one thing they've done is they've taken care of business against teams they should beat.
Yeah.
And they did not do that on Saturday. And just a really tough loss. And we talked about Texas losing. We talked about Penn State losing. The number 1 team, Texas, number 2 team, Penn State, number 4 team, Clemson, all preseason are all 3 out of the top 25.
Yeah. I mean, that just shows you that preseason rankings are usually just built on reputations, So until the ball is snapped and we get a few games in, that's when we really start to get a feel for how things are going. But usually those preseason rankings, you're ranked based on the name on your jersey and not really how good you are.
The problem with college football, though, is it can affect things. Like, if you're preseason number 2, that gives you an advantage over somebody who's not ranked.
No, it does. Absolutely.
Because you don't have to climb there. But it just shows you that we really don't know anything with these preseason rankings. And maybe they shouldn't play such a big role as they do in college football.
Why do you need preseason rankings? Start ranking them after week 1. Start ranking them after week 1.
Oh, can you even rank them after week 1?
I mean, it's tough, but there are some good, like week 1 this year was a great slate of games. LSU going into Clemson and winning, that maybe then LSU's a top 10 team. And then you got, what else? We had a couple other big matchups. I can't remember what they were, but a couple other big matchups.
Clemson and LSU.
Yeah. There's some others that week too, but you can maybe get a little bit of a feel after week 1, but not a great one. But I wouldn't like preseason rankings before a ball was even snapped or kicked. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Look, and it's fine if it, like in college basketball, it doesn't affect anything. Like, preseason rankings are just there. It doesn't affect what your seed's going to be in the NCAA tournament. It's just something fun to look at, and they can fluctuate. But the problem with college football is it actually does matter. Like, it actually does affect. Like, you being in the preseason top 10 gives you an advantage over somebody who's not. And it just shows you that we don't know what we're talking about, and giving somebody an unfair advantage really doesn't make sense. And you've got 3 out of the top 4 teams that now are not even in the top 25.
Yeah. No.
But one of those teams was able to get right as Clemson went into Chapel Hill and just blew the doors off of North Carolina, up 28-3 in the first quarter, 35-3 at the half. And half the stadium was empty at halftime. They go on to win 38-10. Man, it's a mess there in Chapel Hill.
Yeah, it's not working out as the way that fans and donors probably had hoped. All the hype coming into the season and that crowd that they had week 1 against TCU and how fired up everybody was. And then ever since that first drive of the season when they went up 7-0 on TCU, it's just gone straight downhill from there. So I don't know. It clearly seems like Bill's not cut out for maybe a college football gig. I think he's probably reevaluating what he wants to do now. Is trying to get another job, maybe back in the NFL, or even transitioning into maybe a TV role, which I can't see him being that good on TV either, to be honest with you. But it's what he can't be having fun. It's got to be a miserable situation over there. But it's bad.
Well, does he not just come off as a miserable person? Like, it's his reputation, right? And like, I don't care what your reputation is. If you can't relate with these college kids, I don't know how you're going to coach. And that was one of my concerns with him coming into the college. And I really didn't understand his motivation either. Like, why are you taking this job? But
yeah,
their 2 wins against Charlotte and Richmond, and they've been outscored 120-33 in their losses to TCU, UCF, and Clemson. They've just been completely outmanned. We're a little over a month into his tenure. They were going to have a show on Hulu, behind the scenes about everything going on in North Carolina. That thing looks to be canceled for probably good reason.
Yeah.
They're already talking about buyouts in his contract to get him out of there. It's just been a complete mess. And for somebody who was regarded as maybe the best coach in NFL history, right?
Yeah.
The more that he like with this, like it's and then Tom Brady goes to Tampa Bay and wins a Super Bowl. You wonder, like, I mean, you got to have a good QB to win. You have to, but it makes you look like was Brady maybe a lot more important than Belichick was.
That is definitely the perception that I'm getting, and I think a lot of other people are getting. Yeah.
So why not just retire as when he retires
What's he gonna do?
and just go out?
I don't know if he has any other hobbies except football.
Well, I know one he
Well,
has.
yeah, yeah. He's got one. He's got one hobby.
It's not a bad hobby. Like he's got a lot of slack for it, but I mean he's probably he's like, all right, whatever.
No, but I just think that he's a football guy. You know, like he wants to be around the game. I think that's probably why he took that job. Is he wasn't getting an NFL job, but he wants to be in the game. He wants to be involved in the game. He wants to be a coach. And North Carolina came calling with an offer that he thought was good and gave him an opportunity to get back in the game. It has not worked, but I just think that he's a football guy.
He is, but I mean, we see all these coaches that have been around for a long time getting out because this NIL is so much where you're recruiting guys year after year. I mean, we saw Nick Saban, we saw Jay Wright, we saw, Tony Bennett, all these guys get out before you probably think they're going to retire because the landscape is just so different than it has been in the past. And like maybe Bill Belichick wasn't completely aware of all that was going to entail, and maybe it's just a little too much. But I mean, what? And I'll be honest. I mean, I wasn't pulling for him to be successful in North Carolina just because I didn't understand that it was just the decision was odd to me. But it's been a complete fiasco.
Yeah, and I guess he's, like I said, a football guy. He's used to the NFL where you don't have to go recruit players. You have a GM that just builds your roster for you, and all you do is basically you focus on coaching. And so it's a completely different world that he's in now. It's not just football, like you mentioned. So that's probably,
But I mean,
that's why it's not working.
that's not a surprise. You know that going into it.
He was told that. I don't know if he knew, like you said, I don't think he knew what it all was. I think he thought he could just show up and coach and somebody would just bring the players to him, and it's not working.
Does he make it through the end of the year?
I put it at a 50-50 shot.
Yeah. I mean, they interviewed him in the end zone pregame on game day. And I mean, the interview was actually better than I thought it was going to be, but it's just so awkward. And they're not very good. And he just still gets all this attention. And I mean, do you want all this attention when your team's just going to get, I mean, your team's just not very talented. And I think their schedule lightens up a little bit. So maybe, they'll have a better second half, but I mean, it's just,
Yeah.
for a coach that's as well regarded as him, just the whole thing's just kind of odd.
Very odd. Yes. Odd is a good word.
The big one this week is Indiana and the Ducks.
Oh yeah. We'll be tuned into that one. A little Hoosier action. It's gonna be it's gonna take almost a near perfect game, I think, for them to win that one. Going out west. If it was at home, maybe a little bit different, but going out to Eugene, in their toughest game, it would be the toughest game that they have all year. We'll see. I mean, they're coming off a bye week, so they've had another extra week to prepare. We'll see if Mendoza and that offense can put up some points and, see if we can stop that Oregon. The defense can stop that Oregon offense.
And for those that are hearing Neil say we, you alone.
Yeah.
You can say it.
There's a Pubs of Bloomington poster hanging in the background there, as you can see.
You can say it.
I've visited probably about 95% of them.
Yeah. Do what?
I said the Pubs of Bloomington poster hanging proudly in the back. I've been to probably about 95% of this.
You at 95% of the pubs, I'm surprised. But yeah, I think Oregon's probably top 3 team, and with Ohio State and Miami, and Ohio State gets a really good Illinois team that Indiana just put it on a couple weeks ago. So some good matchups in college football this week that will be fun to kind of talk about next week. And I guess kind of transitioning to the MLB playoffs. Dude, what about Vlad Guerrero?
What'd he do?
I think he was 1 for 3 before we started tonight and already had another RBI, but he entered the game tonight 8 for 13 with 3 home runs and 8 RBIs.
He's tearing it up.
And like I looked it up, his numbers all time against the Yankees, like almost 14% of his home runs have came against the Yankees. Almost 14% of his RBIs have came against the Yankees. His dad almost signed with the Yankees in 03 and has a lot of like resentment towards the Yankees because I think they kind of backed out and they obviously didn't sign him. And his dad had some success against the Yankees in the playoffs. He beat them with the Angels in 05, beat them with the Rangers in 2010. I mean, Vlad Guerrero is just kind of carrying on this legacy of just putting it on the Yankees.
Yeah, I mean, they're rolling. I mean, they absolutely crushed the Yankees in the 2 games up in Toronto, up 5-1 here in Game 4 in the Bronx in the 8th inning. So they're well on their way to go into the ALCS. And, they're doing all this without one of their other best players, Bo Bichette. Bo Bichette's been hurt, and this offense is still rocking and rolling. 11 hits already tonight through 8 innings. So they are playing some very, very good baseball. That's for sure.
It's funny. I saw this quote from Vlad Jr. back in 22. And he said, I like to play New York. I like to kill the Yankees. I would never sign with the Yankees, not even dead.
Oh, dang.
Now, his contract talks stalled with the Blue Jays in the offseason. He eventually signed that 14-year deal for $500 million. But I think he had backtracked a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think if the Yankees would have offered him a little more money, he would have been playing in New York.
Money talks. Money definitely talks. He would, if the money was right, I think he would be in New York as a Yankee. But the flip side of this, you're the Yankees, and let's say your season ends tonight, as it looks like it's going to. What kind of decisions do you make in the offseason? Aaron Boone, they've been down on him a little bit this year. Went to the World Series last year. Expectations were to get back to it. They're in the playoffs. They're in the second round of the playoffs. He's not a bad manager, but is he?
I mean, you just got their
I don't know if he's Yankee standards.
You just got their World Series last year. That buys you another year. They've got some good young arms. They got a good lineup. Like they'll run it back. They'll add some pieces and they'll run it back next year with Aaron Boone. I mean, if they would have lost to the Red Sox in the wild card round, I could maybe see them making a move. But with winning that series, and I don't know, I don't see them moving on from Aaron Boone after at least getting to the ALDS. We'll see, but I mean, it looks like it's going to be the Blue Jays, and then we got Game 5 between the Tigers and the M's.
Yeah,
and then the Cubs forced a Game 4 earlier today, and later tonight the Phillies will try to get on the board, and they're going to LA to get it. So
yeah,
but one thing we didn't talk about was the Mariners game, not today, but yesterday.
Yeah,
Cal Raleigh hit another one,
as he does frequently.
Would have been his 61st. It doesn't count towards it, but it's his 61st home run of the year, regular season and postseason. They're in Detroit and goes into the bullpen, bounces up into the arms of a guy wearing a shirt that says Cal Raleigh dumped 61 here.
Good for that guy. On the road too, guy wearing this shirt in a visiting ballpark. Right spot, right place at the right time for that guy, and he called it.
Yeah, I mean, what are the chances? We talked about the Bills guy, but I think this is even more, the chances of this happening are even more astronomical. A dude actually wearing a shirt with the numbered home run, catching it. Now, he didn't take off and get out of the stadium.
And nobody's making him give that ball back, that's for sure.
No, he was able to go and see Cal Raleigh after the game, and I think he got a bat. And dude, he was prepared too. Like you talk about being prepared in life.
What did my guy do after he caught number 61?
He switched his shirt to 62.
How about that? Look at that guy.
And then the game today, he's all over TV. They're showing it. He's in the same exact seat, and he's wearing his 62 shirt. It reminds me. So, like, back in 98, when Sammy Sosa was doing, him and Mark McGwire were trying to break Roger Maris's record. And at the end of the season, we went to my dad and my grandfather and Carl, who's been on the show with us, went up to Synergy Field to watch the Cubs and the Reds play. And we wore white tank tops.
Yeah.
I can't say the politically incorrect word that we probably called them back in 1998. But we wore these white tank tops, and we had 21 on the front and 62 on the back. We didn't catch a ball, though.
That's unfortunate because if you would have caught number 62 from Sammy Sosa back then, yeah, that's worth a little bit of a coin.
We were also in foul ground. Pretty much impossible to catch a
Number
home run.
62 was not coming to you, no one way or the other.
Right. So we weren't getting 62, but no, dude, cool story there in Detroit, and it was cool to see him take pictures. We talk about all these bad things with home run balls and things being thrown in the stadium. It's good to see a guy come prepared and catch a home run.
Glad some Tiger lady didn't come over and yell at him and steal his ball. But that's good. That's good.
I'm glad. Yeah. We don't need any more Philly Karens or Giants Julies. Like, y'all just stay home.
Stay home.
Like, let the people have fun. We don't need these Karens and these Julies bringing everybody down with their antics.
Glad we have glad we finally get a feel good story from a home run.
Yeah, good for my guy.
Yeah.
He didn't get 62 today, but there's no doubt he'll be there in Seattle for Game 5, and the cameras are going to find him, and he's going to be wearing that same shirt.
No, for sure.
NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
They've talked about this for a long time in college basketball, expanding what is already the greatest event in sports. Why you're going to run it, I have no idea. And I think it's a good thing that we pushed it off a year. There were talks that it might happen in 26, but now it really looks like it's going to be 76 teams in the NCAA tournament in 2027. So enjoy this last one where it's just 68.
Yeah, I don't know why we're messing with it. Are we trying to get,
I mean, you know why.
A couple more TV, media, a little bit more media revenue, a couple more TV dollars here and there. But, I mean, at this point, why just let them all in? Like, what do we? It's a good product. I think it's a near perfect product. I don't know why we're messing with it just to get a couple more, 18 and 13 teams in the tournament that probably aren't going to do much anyway. Get past the first round or two. So it's to me, it makes it a little bit watered down, but I don't know. Be interesting to see how
it just, I don't know. The whole, going to 68 didn't make sense, but we've kind of gotten used to that. It's just an extra 4 games. You kind of have got to where Tuesday, Wednesday it's not the real tournament, but you enjoy tuning in and watching those. But now we're going to have 12 of them.
Yeah.
12.
Yeah.
And what they're wanting to do is they want to take the 12 bottom AQs according to their ranking, and they're all in the 12 at larges and put them in these games to play to get into the real tournament. And my issue with when it's been 68 and will be even worse when it's 76 is these smaller conference schools that don't really get to they win their conference tournament and they don't really get to experience the NCAA tournament. And and now it's going to be even worse. Now you're going to have potentially 12 AQs who don't actually get to play in the NCAA tournament. They're just playing in this opening round so we can make more money on TV in these watered down games that, honestly, when you get to that many, I don't know if people are really they'll tune in, but they're not going to tune in like they do for the real thing.
No, like you said, when they expanded it to 68, and I've been against it from the beginning of these smaller schools, these 16 seeds that have to play each other in Dayton just to get into what we call the big, the real tournament. Because like you said, these kids win their conference tournament. It's the opportunity of a lifetime. It's probably one of the greatest things in their lives. And you make them go and play a Tuesday night game in Dayton just to get in. It's like, come on. Like, let these kids enjoy the tournament. Have the big arenas, the open practices. You get to go up against Kansases and the Dukes and the Carolinas. Instead you're going up against Alabama A&M versus, Texas Southern. It's like, come on, guys. Like these kids earned the right to play the Kansases and the North Carolinas. I mean, sure, they're going to probably lose by 50, but you know what? Like, let the kids enjoy it. Let them experience what it's like to be in the big dance and not a Tuesday night in Dayton.
1,000%. And I don't agree with you very often. But the main thing is the Alabama States and the teams like that not being able to play the Blue Bloods. Because that is what getting in the NCAA tournament is all about for these 16 seeds, is getting an opportunity to play Kansas, to play Duke, to play Kentucky, to play Louisville, and to be up at the first media timeout be up 8-6 and everybody's watching and they're like, can they do it?
Yeah.
Can they pull off this money? And they end up losing by 40. But like, that's what it's all about, is getting the opportunity. Like, they get to play smaller schools in non-con. This happens, but they don't get to play the blue bloods like that. And now with you having more of these play-in games, you're taking more opportunities from that away. You're penalizing these AQs. To me, if you really want to do this, which I still disagree with doing this, but you don't penalize the AQs, you penalize the at-larges, and you put all the 24 bottom at-larges into this thing and make them play their way into the tournament.
Absolutely right. 100% correct. You know, like if you're the last couple of at-large teams, like I said, your record's probably 18-13. You know, if you want to be securely in the tournament, you either win your conference or you play better basketball throughout the year. You know, like we don't need any more around 500 teams in the tournament just to play another week. Like these kids, like you mentioned, these Alabama A&Ms, and it's more than just playing the Blue Bloods. It's playing in front of 20,000 fans. It's, you know, getting to go to media day. You know, you're up there with your coach in media day and you've got national media talking to you. Like, how are you going to pull off the upset? How are you going to do this? You know, it's like the thrill of just all of it. It's not just the game. It's the entire experience of playing in the big tournament that they're getting robbed of.
Yeah, and you're following Mike Krzyzewski to the table.
Yeah.
Like, he just finishes the table, does his press conference, and he's stepping down, and you're stepping up, and you're talking in the same press conference table that he had just talked. I mean, that's what this is all about. We run everything with money and with media dollars. And like, going to 68 did not ruin the tournament. Going to 76 is not going to ruin the tournament, but it waters it down.
It does.
And it takes away experiences from kids that deserve it, that have worked so hard to get to where they have an opportunity to have those experiences. And I don't know. It's just, I was really glad that it's not going to happen this year, but you know it's going to happen eventually. And now it looks like it's going to be in 2027.
Yep.
But yeah, let's just go to the 24 at-larges, make them play it out. They all suck anyways.
Most do. Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about teams that are hovering over 500 in their league.
I mean, yeah, it's like a,
you know, but we got to get all the Power 4 teams in this thing.
Like a 18-13 West Virginia is playing a 17-14 TCU or something. Doesn't excite me at all.
And why would it? Why would it? You want to talk about these breadsticks?
Oh, I like breadsticks. What kind of breadsticks we talking?
We talked about breadsticks last week.
They're soft.
It's just the crust of the pizza. It's just the crust of the pizza.
It is.
You got to have your sauce.
You got to have some sauce.
Because I know you're not going to eat the crust. So we like to close with non-sports stories.
Yes.
If we can. In St. Louis, 26-year-old waitress working at Olive Garden, I believe.
Yeah, I think that was right.
Husband and a wife run up like almost $100 tab.
Ooh, they must have got the fine wine. Yep.
Almost $100 tab. Don't tip.
Oh.
Just leave.
No tip?
No tip.
$0.
Which is
a $0 tip.
$0.
Oh, no.
I mean, 20% at $100 is a $20 tip.
$20.
Throw down $20. She doesn't take it very well, which I 100% get it. I think she chased him down and started throwing breadsticks at him.
Literal, threw the breadsticks at him.
Started throwing breadsticks and was arrested.
Oh, man.
So this 26-year-old waitress who doesn't get a tip, probably had a bad day. I mean, the ones that should be getting arrested are the people that tip $0 and $100. They should go to jail.
That's stealing. It's stealing.
They're making $2 an hour. Like they live off of tips.
If
like how do we not know this as a society?
If you can't tip 20%, then you have no business racking up $100 tab at an Olive Garden. Like, if you can't tip, don't go out to eat. If you can't afford the extra 20% on top of your bill, you have no business going out to eat. Go to your local Kroger, get your lean cuisine, get your Stouffer's lasagna or some other kind of frozen Italian food, pop that in your microwave, and then you don't have to worry about tipping. But don't do this to this poor 26-year-old girl who's, relying on these tips to maybe, help her family, maybe go through nursing school. Who knows what she's going through? Like, they rely on these tips, as their wage. As you said, they make $2 an hour. Like, come on, you're stealing from her is what you're doing.
And maybe this is the case too. She hurled a whole basket of breadsticks. So maybe she thought they just need them to go. Like they couldn't afford to tip. Maybe they need a little more food. They couldn't afford it. So maybe that was the
Now
gesture. And it just so happened that the basket of breadsticks hit the dude in the chest. I mean, and also, is it really going to hurt you, dude?
No.
Like,
no.
It's a basket of bread, bro.
I mean, to be fair, she wasting a good basket of Olive Garden breadsticks to me is a crime because those breadsticks are very, very good. I might have just thrown the empty basket at them and just, maybe save the breadsticks because they're pretty good.
But like people were in the restaurant. They just started recording it and throwing up a live stream of her reaction. So there's plenty of videos of it if you want to go find it. And I mean, she's arrested with charges of assault and disorderly conduct.
Hopefully that gets all worked out and those charges are dropped against her. And, maybe her story catches on somewhere and, maybe she can get some donations rolling in to help cover the $20 tip that she's rightfully deserved. It's what are we doing? Like, if you can't tip, don't go out to eat.
Hey, it's two things in a row you said that are 100% right.
Mm-hmm.
And also, let's make a rule. If you don't tip, if you tip $0, you should be arrested.
There's no question.
Like the minimum tip should be 15.
Minimum. Let's just charge it to your card without you even.
Minimum 15. If you can't tip 15, don't go to the restaurant.
100%.
And even when your service is poor, you still got to throw some money down.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not even one of those. If my service is poor, I'm going to tip 0. Like they're still working. I might not go back. Might not write a little heart on my check when I signed it. But
you got to throw something down though. But I mean, have they told their side of the story? I haven't heard the person that's been assaulted with the breadsticks. What's their side of the story of why they didn't tip? Did this waitress do something to offend them? Did she not provide the services that they thought they were getting? Like what's the story here?
Yeah, I mean, I guess that is potentially a reason for them not tipping. Maybe she didn't do a good job. The New York the story where I read the article did not go into that detail. Maybe it's something that we need to maybe do a little research on and try to figure out what the root cause was here. But per the article, it was just she was having a bad day, got tipped, she didn't get tipped, and threw breadsticks, hit the dude's chest. She ended up getting handcuffed and taken out, and everybody's videoing it with their phones.
I know. Based on the evidence we have so far, I'm going to side with the waitress in this story.
Well, I think there's no question there, Neil. I don't think you're going to side with a couple that tips $0 on a $100
Except she wasted the breadsticks, so it's one strike against her.
Well, I'm pretty sure the breadsticks that were probably on the table for the couple that is leaving were probably not going to be redistributed to another couple. But, yeah, I guess they were wasted. Bottom line is tip your waitresses and your waiters.
And
if you're going to go out.
And the people that cut your hair. I see that nice little haircut you got going on today.
Yeah, we get a little fresh type from Tammy last week. Always taking care of us.
So it's great.
Great clips in Fern Creek. Go see her.
Yep.
So, I've gone through everything on my sheet. You got anything?
Nope. Let's just get the Cards are off this weekend, so we'll be tuned in to the IU Hoosiers versus Oregon Ducks on Saturday. Let's get that dub.
Oh, we got the Who Day tailgate scramble on Sunday morning, presented by the Height Differential podcast. So we are excited to be a part of that. I think we're going to draw teams. Myself and my dad and Rick Brown won the thing last year. Mm-hmm. So I don't think we're going to be on the same team this year. We're going to random draw, playing out at Glen Oaks, and haven't played golf since our scramble last week. So excited to get out there.
Yeah, you played pretty well last week. So if you're on my team on Sunday, you better be playing just like you did last week.
Yeah. I need nice weather now that it quit raining. I need to get out there before Sunday.
I'm out there. Me and Michael Vanover will be out there at the ULGC tomorrow.
Yeah, y'all have fun with that. I'll be working.
Good for you.
I'll be at the old job. We'll be back on Sunday night, right?
Yeah. 4:00 Bengals game. Might be a late podcast, but maybe.
Well, not too late. I gotta stay up and edit this thing for.
We'll see.
We'll figure it out.
We'll see how it goes on the course.
More than likely a Sunday pod. We'll be back to recap the weekend of college football, NFL. But for Neil, I'm Nick. You've been listening to the Height Differential, powered by Guerrero.
Give it to me.
At Griddly, we believe grit isn't just a word, it's a way of life. It's perseverance, resilience, courage, passion, and strength. That's why our wallets and winning bands are built to last, just like you. Right now, honor your grit and save 25% with promo code HD at checkout. Back for life. That's the Griddly guarantee. Griddly, embrace your grit.